Once again, it's a privilege to be welcome into your homes. Today we are reading from 1 Samuel chapter 8, verse 4 to 7, then continue from 10 to 22. All the elders of Israel came in a body to Samuel at Ramah and said to him, "Now that you are old and your sons do not follow your example, appoint a king over us, as other nations have, to judge us." Samuel was displeased when they asked for a king to judge them. He prayed to the Lord, however, who said in answer, "Grant the people's every request. It is not you they reject. They are rejecting me as their king." Samuel delivered the message of the Lord in full to those who were asking him for a king. He told them the rights of the king who will rule you will be as follows. He will take your sons and assign them to his chariots and horses, and they will run before his chariots. He will also appoint from among them his commanders of groups of 1,000 and of 1,000 soldiers and of 100 soldiers. He will set them to do his plowing and his harvesting, and to make his implements of war and the equipment of his chariots. He will use your daughters as ointment maker, as cooks, and as bakers. He will take best of your fields, vineyards, and olive groves, and give them to his officials. He will tithe your crops and your vineyards, and give the revenue to his eunuchs and his slaves. He will take your male and female servants, as well as your best oxen and your asses, and use them to do his work. He will tithe your flocks, and you yourself will become his slaves. When this takes place, you will complain against the king, whom you have chosen. But on that day, the Lord will not answer you. The people, however, refused to listen to Samuel's warning and said, "Not so. There must be a king over us. We too must be like other nations, with a king to rule us and to lead us in warfare and fight our battles." When Samuel had listened to all the people had to say, he repeated to the Lord, who then said to him, "Grant their request and appoint a king to rule." Israel asks for a king, not because God has failed them, but because they want to be like the surrounding nations. Their request reveals a deep insecurity. They no longer trust the unique way God has chosen to guide and protect them. God interprets this desire clearly. They have rejected me as their king. The problem is not leadership itself, but the motive behind the request, a turning away from God's kingship. Through Samuel, God patiently warns the people about the consequences of their choice. A human king will take sons, daughters, land, labor, and freedom. Power that is not rooted in God's justice always comes at a cost. Yet, despite these warnings, the people insist. Fear of the unknown outweighs trust in God's faithfulness. The reading exposes a recurring temptation in the life of faith, the desire to conform. When we measure our lives by the standards of the world, we risk exchanging God's guidance for a false sense of security. What appears strong and organized on the outside may slowly drain our freedom and joy on the inside. Still, God does not abandon his people. He allows them to choose, even when the choice leads to hardship. This reveals a God who respects human freedom while remaining present within our decisions, working even through our mistakes to bring about his purposes. We are invited to reflect on our own hearts. Where do we seek security apart from God? In what ways do we ask for kings in our lives, power, control, approval, rather than trusting God's leadership? Dear friends, may we learn to desire God's reign above all else, trusting that his ways, though sometimes unseen, lead to true freedom and life. Shalom.